Okay, so in this video I want to teach you how you can successfully run a Google Ads campaign. And for you to do that, the first step is to have an account with Google and definitely have a Gmail account. So once that is settled, just come straight to ads.google.com and you'll be on the same page. Okay, so once you're here, just come straight to switch to expert mode. Okay, and the reason for this is that you're able to set up your campaign just like a professional. Okay, so and that's why this video is for you, such that you'll be able to run Google Ads campaign just like a professional and know everything that you need to know to successfully run your campaign. Okay, so once you are here, just click on this part, okay, and it takes you to the next page where you have your different campaign objectives like leads, website traffic, and other options. Okay, so let's just click that and see what we have. These are the various campaign objectives that we have. So you can just select one of them depending on the objective of your campaign. So we have different campaign type like leads. If you want to get maybe people's contacts, people's from like phone number, emails. Sales. You want to generate sales, direct sales to your to your online store, your app. Depending on which platform you want to use to get the sales. For website traffic, you want to drive traffic to your site. You want as many people to see it as much as possible. You want to create brand awareness. You want to promote your app. You want people to visit your store, physical store. Okay, but for us, let's just stick to website traffic, whereby we want to drive traffic to our website. Then for the campaign type, we have different types. We have search. So when you search something online, perhaps people make a direct search on Google. Okay, let's take for example buy real estate in Lagos, for example. You see we have different results on the search engine results page here. Okay, but if you want to promote your website so that it will also appear, okay, you can see one here. So this is sponsored, which means that they paid for them to be listed there. Okay, so that's for search. So that is it will appear on the search engine results page when people make search related to something that you are selling. Okay, for display, you always find display on your perhaps maybe you're browsing apps, sometimes through the blogs you see display ads appearing in form of banners, or different graphics design. So for shopping, it appears like as like you have this e-commerce on search engine results page. Okay, let me show you like an example. Okay, let's say okay, let's say skincare, something like that. Skincare products. Okay, so you can see this is where your address will appear. If people click on shopping, so it will appear here. You can see sponsored shop skincare products. So this is largely good for you if you have this physical product that you're selling. So this way it will appear and people can from here click on your product and proceed to buy. So using the option will promote your products under the shopping option on Google. Okay, so then we have video. Video is maybe you want to run you want to promote your video on YouTube, so you must have had an account on YouTube and have a video there that you want to promote. Then this option is for you. For discovery, if you want people to see your email through Gmail, Google Discover, so this is for you. All right, so let's just use display for this Google Ads. So click on display. Then for the website, so for the sake of this tutorial, just use like a non-existing website, just for example.com. So if you have a website, put it here. And so for the conversion, Conversion is good for tracking your traffic. That is, you want to get data about people that are interacting with your advert. So once you create your conversion, click on conversion there. You copy the code, the tag, and paste it on your website. So that means when people take action on your website, it notice and take records of their activities on your website. People that want to buy and maybe stopped along the way. And so in case you want to retarget, you won't end up creating fresh adverts for different people entirely. So you must have had this option, this set of people you want to target. So we call it retargeting. So that is, by the time you're running your campaign, you also want to target people that have already interacted with your adverts before. So, and in that way, you are saving money that way. Okay, so that will require another tutorial on its own, but for that, let's just leave this for now. So you actually do your campaign without creating this, but if you really want to go in the long campaign, in the long run, you might need to create this so that you can always retarget people that visit your website. But let's just leave it for now. So you can just name your campaign depending on what you want to do, and continue. Okay, so for the location option, we have this where you choose where you want your advert to appear. Okay, so we want take for example, we want particular places like some places in Nigeria. So we have to be definite about the places that we want to run our advert in Nigeria. Okay, sorry, enter the location. Okay, because Nigeria is too wide. Okay, so we have to be very definite about the places that I want to target. So let's say Lekki, for example. Lekki, Lagos. Okay, Epe, Lagos. This. Ikeja. And mind you, as you are doing all of that, you should notice your operation. It's initially I think it was around some billions, but it has reduced to 360 million now. Okay, but it will still reduce further as we narrow down our target. So Ikeja city. So let's say Abuja also. So mind you, I'm not targeting the whole of Lagos, so just some places that I want my advert to run. So you can target Abuja as a state or city, just or some places. If you know Abuja very well, you can just pick any of them. Wuse, Gariki. So you can just target any of those locations. Port Harcourt. So another thing I used to do is to have like the map of Nigeria open somewhere, and I'll be checking the locations, the various locations, and so I will know. So I'll know where to start from. Okay, so you can just open your map on Nigeria somewhere and then pick any of those locations. Let's say Akure, for example. Okay, so let's just use that for an example. Okay, so presently my impression is 6.4 billion. That's a lot, but we have to break that down as we proceed. Okay, so location options. We have people present or interest. Presence or interest. People regularly in, or who have shown interest in your target locations, or people in or regularly in your targeted locations. So let me just pick this, okay? Because people that have shown interest might not be there at that time. Maybe people that have traveled there before, they visited the place before, they had one activity or another to do there, and they are no longer there. So I want to pick that. I want people that are really living in that location, or they have most of their activities in that location. So at least when I want to sell to them, they will be there when they see my adverts. So for the language, I always leave that to be English, and for more settings, let's click on this. So if I want to pick so I'll always link this to Google to determine by itself about the optimize option. So it's automatically set to prefer best performing ads, So I always leave this. For the other option for ad schedule, I don't tamper with this, because I don't know which of the days that will perform best. So I leave it the way it is. But if once you are so sure about the days that people will likely see your adverts, you can go ahead and pick the days. Okay. But if you're just starting, I just say that you leave it like that, because you need to at least see how people are interacting with your adverts before you can make such decision, and for the time range as well. So more settings, let's see other options here. So for the device, so you can select the device you want your advert to show on. So maybe you want it to be on Android. Sorry, maybe you want to be on mobile phones, computer, tablet. Okay, you can also choose your operating system. Android, iOS, so whichever. But I always leave them like that, because I don't know which one will convert for me most. So that's so if you want to choose when you want your campaign to end, you can always come here as well. And okay, maybe you want it to stop at so time or so date. You can fix the date that you want your campaign to end. And so, but for me, I just leave it and let it keep running. Okay, so that's about the settings. Then come to next. Alright, so for my average daily budget, so since I'm just starting, I'll pick that to be let's say 10%. I'm sorry, $10. Okay, so $10, you can see that I'm having 570 to 2K clicks on average per day. Okay, but I still need to set it further. Okay, for the bidding, let me bid it further and select let me manually set bids. Okay, so that means that I want to set it to 0.03, for example. Okay, so I want to so that is the amount I'll pay when people click on mine. Like, this is an average cost per click, the amount Google will charge me when people click on my adverts. So with that, I'm having the impression is 50k to 250k impressions. The clicks 1.8k to 4.7k. So that's the and the CPC will be within this range, 0.01 to 0.04. So that's still okay by me. So so let me leave it the way it is. Then next, so for my targeting, I need to what are the set of people I want to target with these adverts? So their interest, their income level, and all. Okay, so I usually don't deal with this area. I just leave it the way it is. The targeted segments, so I leave this way. But for this area, just click on targeting. Start from demographics. Click on the gender. So are you targeting female or male? So if you are selling female products, so that means you have to uncheck the remaining two if you are so sure you're selling female products. But if you are selling both, so you check both male and female. Okay, and if you are only selling male, uncheck the other options. Okay, so let's just leave the way it is. And if you are sure about the age range, like the set of people that will likely buy your products, are they between the age of let's say 35 to 55, or it also includes older people? So you can, that determines as well. So these people are not likely buy unless it's something very cheap, So sometimes, or maybe the product I'm selling, I'm also sure that people in this range can't really buy, so I just uncheck this. And sometimes there's okay, but mostly these people are students, and these guys are just so. So if you're so sure about the range, so just let's say I'm selling for people in this range, this age range, so 35 to like 65. I don't like picking this unknown option, so I just uncheck this as well. So I'm okay with that option. So therefore, the parental status, I always leave it the way it is. So that's that for the demographics targeting, and um, let's continue. Okay, so for the keywords, mostly I use the keywords targeting for search ads. Like people that are searching for certain keywords, my ad will appear. Um, but since I'm using display, I don't use that option. Okay, so continue further to the topics. So the topics, you need to pay attention here. For the topics, that is the what your potential audience will be interested in. Okay, let's say for example you're selling like health products. For example, you're selling maybe weight loss products. So just come to okay, beauty and fitness. Okay, we have beauty and fitness. You can also search anyways, but let me just show you beauty and fitness. Then drag, come down and look for weight loss. So you can just pick this. Okay, so you will notice that these clicks has reduced because now we are targeting very few people. We have streamlined the number of people we want to target. So you have our current impression to be 3.5 million, and we will be recording about 200 to 1.3 thousand clicks per day. Okay, and for the daily impression, this is what we're having on a daily basis. Okay, and estimate of 3.5 million people will be targeted. For the impression. Okay, so if you want to add, let's say you also want to add for the health option, you can just click on the drop down option. It will bring other options out. Okay, so let's say you want to sell women, you want to target women in your products, you can just pick this. So you can just play around it and look at. So maybe you're not for health, you're for maybe finance, you want to sell electronics, you want to sell your books. You can just pick any of them and look at what your potential audience will likely be interested in. Okay, so games, food and drink, fashion. So depending on the option that you want to use, so real estate as well. So just play around it. So don't just select it as a whole. So always use the drop down option to see different options inside each of these topics and select. Okay, so that's it. You can see that this has increased to 9.7 because I picked women's health. So I just leave it that way. So then once you are through, come down and okay, what else is there to target? Let's see. Okay, for the placement, okay, where do you want your adverts to appear? So for me, I mostly leave it without doing anything there. Okay, so but if you're okay, you don't want your adverts to appear on some particular platforms, you can just um pick where you want it to appear. So if maybe you have a particular website that you want it to appear, some YouTube channels that want to target, um, certain apps, depending on which of these ones that you have in mind already. But if you're not so sure, so you can just leave it the way it is. Okay, but my goal is to have as many people as possible to visit my website, so I don't really bother where they are coming from. All right, so that's it, and we click on next. Okay, so this option, this is where we put our final URL. You can see the final URL is like a landing page. In fact, that's what it is. It's a landing page. That is, this is where people will go to once they click on your advert. So you must have that page already set up somewhere. Then you now put it here. Okay, so just go there, copy the final URL, then put it here. So let's say, for example, okay, let's say this particular one. Let's just come up with something. Hash landing page. Do something like this. Okay, then so you don't need to bother about all this that I'm putting, because it's once you have a landing page. So I have to put it because it won't accept it if it doesn't have this HTTP option. So once you have your landing page, just go to where you have your site, copy, come back here. Then for the business name, you can, let's just use a name, something like S Plus. So you have your business and you can just use the name here, the name of your business. And then for the image, Google lets us to use at least 2 images. So one is landscape and the other one is square image. So but you can have more than that anyway, so depending on how you want it to be. Okay, so just click on the plus images. So, and for the image size, I did a video where I told you and explained how you can create different image sizes, okay, landscape and square in particular, because if you just use any size, Google won't accept it. So once you created an image, just come to upload and upload from computer. So let's just use some examples. So I have my landscape and my square images. So these are the ones I'll be using. So let me just select them. So these are my images, and let me just save. Okay, so once you've added your images, and you can just come down to logo. So let's say you have a logo you want to use. You can just follow the same process, upload, then select from here. So let's just use the one that was given like a format here. So let's just use this for example and save. Okay, so we are not using video, so I will leave that. And for your headline, we have options to choose up like 5 headlines. So but for now, let's just use 2, and you have to make sure that this headline is something that will drive people to want to buy your product. So that means you have to come up with something nice enough. Okay, so it's not just about putting headlines there, but make sure that it's something that will catch the attention of people that want to buy your product. So let's say for example, we are running Facebook adverts on weight loss. Okay, so another thing you have to be careful is the text limits. So we have just 30 text limits. So you just have to be skillful with words here. So let me just edit that and change it to something else. Weight loss 100% solution, weight loss, so something like this. So just walk around it and see the one that work for you. or I think it doesn't sit well there. Let me just start with 100% weight loss solution. At least they know, okay, this thing works 100%. Okay, so let me just stop with the two headlines. Then for the long headlines, this give you option to be more like to have many other words to input here in case this place didn't contain your description, or maybe some things you would have loved to include here. So you can just proceed and add those things here. So normally this would not have been able to fit in into this place. So we just went ahead to explain further and um, to make a promise that okay, this doesn't have side effects. So you can just look at okay, what might make people not want to buy your product. So like just try to answer their question. Okay, because for weight loss, for example, they might be thinking, will this have side effects? Is this natural? And you can still go ahead and describe further. Okay, for example, now this is health and okay, is this NAFDAC approved? So can you just go ahead and describe this under this under description option. So here you have up to like 5. So let's just stick to 1 for now. So I said NAFDAC approved weight loss product. So if it's NAFDAC approved, you can just put that here, and you can still go ahead and give testimonies of people that has worked for, maybe that's worked for about 40,000 people. You can just include that here if you are sure about the data. Okay, so once you've done that, you can just come down to okay, I think that's all. So let's just first preview how it will look like. You can see it here. This is how it will look like. So these are the images I'm using. I used it for the square option. This is what you have, and this is what people will see. So from my headline, you can see how it is appearing. Reduce your weight naturally. So this is how people see it. So this comes as the description. If you can see. Okay, so just make sure that you go through this and just walk around this in case you're not okay with what you are seeing. Okay, so you can see that the second headline is showing here, and this is the logo that I used. So if you have your logo, you can just put it as well. So you can just check and check and check. So this is the alt name I used. So you can see that I didn't use my logo here, just use the name instead. Okay, so you can see this isn't bringing out image, so just the text. So in case you didn't do it, maybe with your images, or maybe your text, your headlines isn't convincing enough, people won't see your products here. So that means your headline will do the one that do the speaking. So that means you have to be so sure of the text that you're using. So make sure that it's something that people want to click once they see it. Okay, so it appears, this how it appear. Maybe you have people browsing on their desktop website, so you can see how it will appear there. So you can just ask yourself, okay, now once I see something like this, will I want to click it? So those are the questions that you can ask yourself before you continue to your campaign. So once you are settled with that and you're okay with what you're seeing, you can just proceed further and click on next. So we have a general overview of our campaign here. So if you're okay, if you're not, you can still go ahead and edit. But if you're okay with it, you can just go ahead and publish campaign. Okay, so I haven't added my billing details, so that's why it's bringing out this fix notification for me. So but this is what you have, and once it starts running, you start seeing the impression of the adverts. Okay, so presently it's still 0 impressions, 0 clicks and all. So if I want to start running it, okay, so I just click on fix, and or maybe come to tools and settings as well, any of those options. So then from there I come to my billing, then I set up my billing settings. Okay, so this is the part where I hide my billing details. So I come here and for so this is default is set to organization, so I just change to individual. Okay, and so put my details, address and everything. Okay, for my card details, I just come here and put my card details, and once I'm through with that, click on agree, then I click on submit. So that's it. And once you've your ad payment has been accepted, your ad starts showing. That is, you start the impression, you start reading on you start seeing the impression here actually. So okay, so this is what you have here. I mean, you can see that everything is still at 0, the clicks, the impressions, um the cost as well, everything's still at 0, and that's because I've not added my billing details yet. So once I do that and the ad itself is approved, I'll start seeing some tractions. The clicks will increase, the impression will increase, then I'll start seeing the rates at which I'm being charged for each of these data, for each of these clicks. I'll start seeing the rates here. So this is what you have on your dashboard as well. Okay, and just in case your ad is disapproved by Google, doesn't mean that you should start all over again. Just know the reason why it was disapproved and try and review it, then resubmit again. Okay, so that's it, and thank you for watching.